Hello, hello. We are back. This is the 11th Hour Shaman's Cup of Tea podcast, and I am your hostess, Teresa Gutierrez, a shamanic practitioner, angel healer, and coach, and the owner of 11th Hour Shaman. I'm also a certified herbalist. I've been an herbalist for 27 years. And I absolutely am here to discuss pretty much anything shamanism and spiritual because I believe with all my heart and soul that you can heal anything you want to when you partner with spirit, plants, and purpose. So nestle in with your favorite cup of tea and soak in the nourishment of today's episode. Today is an episode without notes. So please forgive me if I go on wild tangents and maybe fall into some wormholes and never find my way back out. It's what we get. So I gave a session to a client. We were doing intuitive body work, tuning into angels, and I was over this area of my client's body, and I could feel so much mm, heavy emotion. It's really a heavy emotion, and the wording that the angels used to tell me what was happening here was really interesting because I never would have thought to say something like this. And sometimes that happens. In fact, a lot of times that happens. They'll give me the feeling like I can feel like it's like my hands have eyes and ears, and of course they have skin, but it's like I'm feeling their emotion. But while I'm feeling their emotion, I hear a phrase that I often would never say in that way. And what the angels said was low sense of self, period. And I'm like, well, that could mean a lot of things. So hold on. And we had to really just be with that for a minute and really tune in to what was being expressed here. And I ended up asking questions to clarify that all of these ways of what this could mean were true. And they were. And, you know, my client's a human being, which means her issues are my issues are your issues. Am I right? Humans, we all have things come up in our lives, and we have these lifelong stories we tell ourselves, and it can create so much sadness and grief and disease and so many issues. So, low sense of self in this way meant, I would say, three things. The first and second are close to each other, but not quite a match. So, the first idea or concept of a low sense of self means that you really don't know who you are purely as a lovable soul. 100% lovable, 100% complete, 100% worthy, always. This is to really know oneself, to be very, very clear on who you are as a soul in existence, who you were before you were born, who is occupying your body and gives it life, and who will continue in consciousness after life, connected to the source of all life all the time. To really know one's self sometimes takes practice in changing how we think and in changing how we believe. And for me, my dreams actually have brought this incredible, powerful, deep sense of self. And we can also do this through meditation and prayer. But what I really wanted to get across here is that when we don't really know who we are at our core, almost anything can knock us off center. Almost anything. And we could be flying about with the winds, every changing wind. We could just be knocked all over the place. Somebody's word could knock us to the floor and really push us over the edge with our emotions. And then next thing you know, we're the most unproductive being on the planet. That's some of us, some of us. And anyhow, that's the first concept, to really purely know yourself as a pure, lovable soul. Number two of low sense of self is low self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is such an interesting topic. I believe our angels are always available to us to become aware of, but that's not what I'm talking about here. That would be more related to the first thing, because the angels can inform us of our deep sense of self. But low self-awareness means to not be aware of how life really works and how the human brain works and how we as a human being engage with life. So if you don't take the time to journal in a way that is useful and journal in a way that helps you really sort out your thoughts from your feelings and your circumstances, then it's going to be really hard to find the truth so that you can be very aware of how the thoughts you think affect how you're feeling and how you're behaving, which will then create all the many, many, many results we get in life day to day. So I use journaling and prayer for this activity. I started using an app called Feel Wise, and if I remember, I'll put the link in the show notes. But it's really fascinating because it will tell you how self-aware you are. And you can record your voice twice a day. And when I did my first recording, my self-awareness was at a 5 out of 10, 10 being the most aware, 1 being the least aware. And I saw that and I'm like, okay, cool, let's test this out. So then I did my journaling. I wrote down all my fears, 1 fear per line, and it was a big list. And then I did an what we call the unintentional thought model. And this is from Brooke Castillo. You can always do Byron Katie's The Work or some other way of journaling that works for you, but this one is so fast and easy and clear to see what is happening with your thoughts and feelings. So I did the unintentional model, got super clear on that, and then I created an intentional model of who I want to be in the world. How do I want to feel in this world? How do I want to approach these fears and my goals? So I did that, and then I recorded my voice again. Oh, I also did a meditation afterward because I really wanted spirit. This is where we bring angels into our awareness. And I always meditate with prayer. I would never leave my angel team out of my meditation process. So I invite my angels to come with me into meditation and help me connect with the divine and support my growth. So then I do all this work on the fears, and then I record my voice again, and my self-awareness was up to a 9. And it can happen that fast. So, hallelujah. Journaling works. Now, what's wild to me is there's been more than 1,400 studies done on the positive effects of journaling when done properly. And yet, so many people resist it as if they're running away from the plague. I don't know why. I love journaling. It is so useful, and it doesn't have to take more than 5 or 10 minutes. It is so helpful. It can raise your frequency so quickly and your sense of awareness to your angels, but also to your own thought processes, to what you're bringing your attention to, your attention and your awareness. What are you thinking? What are you looking at? We have this amazing ability as humans to look at and think about what we're thinking about and decide if that's working or not, and then make a new decision to do what works instead. And if it isn't that easy, then we just digest our emotions and go for it again. And it usually works that time. So it's really not that hard, but it does take practice. It does take work, and it does take, I would say, an intention to grow. Personal growth is one of my top three values for living a human life. And I don't know that that's everybody's value in life, and that's okay. But I assume if you're listening to this, then personal growth and spirituality and connecting to spirit are very important to you. And journaling in this way can really enhance your relationship with spirit and yourself, how you relate to yourself, and how you can change that in a really positive way to connect you with source. So that's my recommendation. Obviously, when I work with people, I can teach you how to do this and I can help you connect with your angels and create your life on purpose instead of default. Because when we live by default, it can get really messy. But that's okay too, because back to number one, you're purely lovable no matter what, even when your life is messy. Nobody's is easy and clean all the time. Like I said before, I happen to think life can be very 50-50. Right now, I have so much going on. It's kind of crazy. And I'm very pleased that I am not living in a lot of pain today. I would say this week, though, was challenging, and I was able to feel better because I am truly in this work every day. So, number three of a low sense of self is really more related to our human self. It's a low self-image or low self-esteem. It's how we see ourselves as a human and how we either feel empowered and unlimited or versus feeling trapped and very limited in one way or another. So it's really more about how we think about ourselves, what we think is possible for us, what we think we could create in our life or for our life or in our various aspects of life, like within the human body. I remember somebody I love telling me that they felt that they could not change what was going on with their health. And of course, I see a million different changes that could be made to help with the health, right? But they didn't see that as a possibility. And another person said, "Oh, I'm not a smoothie kind of person, or I'm not a tea drinking kind of person." And I'm talking about herbal teas, not black tea, green tea, or anything like that. So we see ourselves as a certain kind of person, somebody that makes tea or somebody that drinks herbal tea or somebody that will drink a smoothie or somebody like this year. Oh, here's a great example. This year, I decided in March that I'm going to be an active woman. And I've actually lost 20 pounds this year, which is a really beautiful, fun side effect of becoming an active woman. Of course, I am doing this on purpose. And um, I have also become a tracker. I have never been a tracker before. I wasn't a tracker before, but I decided to become the kind of woman that tracks how much food she's eating because this is part of the equation when wanting to become a self-possessed woman who is active and healthy and aware. So I've lost 20 pounds. I've gained a lot of strength. I used to lift 10-pound dumbbells, then I went up to 15, and now I'm up to 20. And we're talking bicep curls. And so, how exciting is that? My point is, I used to see myself, my self-image was a woman who was overweight, a woman who was not self-possessed, a woman who was not active or not active enough and not active consistently. And now I've turned all of that around. And this is because of self-image. I decided what kind of self-image I wanted to have, what kind of woman I wanted to be, how I want to see myself as a human. Not just talking about my soul because none of that matters to my soul. My soul just is awesome, just like yours, right? Whether we learn and grow in life, it doesn't change the worth and value of our soul. I wanted a different experience of my life, and so this is what I'm doing. And it really would never work if I didn't decide to become and see myself as a woman who is capable and empowered and unlimited in what is possible for me in this amazing 50-year-old body I'm living in right now. So, some people have a self-image that can distort the communication and feelings within a relationship. This can be a love relationship or friendship or parent and child, all kinds of relationships. And the way we see ourselves can really affect how we relate to other people or how we interpret what somebody is saying to us. This can be, according to number one, the sense of self as a soul, and this can also be a low self-image. It's really important here also that you can again use the model and journaling to change all of this if you want to. And I always invite my angels to come with me. Not that they're not, right? But the way that I approach journaling, meditation, and prayer is basically thank you, angels, for being with me right now. And thank you, angels, for loving me right now as I am. As you know, I'm working to change some things. So thank you again, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know. Thank you for showing me how I can change my thoughts. Thank you for showing me how and where I can truly believe in myself and enjoy who I am and enjoy my life and enhance my relationships and all the things, right? Thank you, angels, for revealing to me the next step to improve my health. Just the one thing, just one thing. Some people need an overhaul really quick. They need a radical transformation, but others of us can just change one thing at a time, build it into our lives, and then change another thing. But I'm always turning my goals into positive prayers, affirmative prayers, as if they are already done. It is exactly how I got my family out of homelessness. That was really quick, if you ask me, because I had no clue whatsoever how in the world that was going to happen. And it is the same thing with anything in our life. We just redirect our thoughts to that positive image, the positive prayer, the affirming of what we want as done already. When you study quantum science or Dr. Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, even Abraham Hicks. They're all saying the same thing. We're all going to say the same thing because it's all true. We're working on facts here. You just got to find what works for you, of course. But for me, every goal and every desire becomes an affirmative prayer as if it's already done. So that's my message for today. There are three aspects for having a sense of self when you relate to your soul and the purity of who you are as a conscious spirit, always forever connected to the source of all life, as your ability to see and know how life works and how your brain works through journaling and other self-awareness practices, and through your self-image and how you choose to see yourself, relate to yourself and others. So I hope you've enjoyed this little nugget of a topic and put it into practice. If you need help or support in your healing for your body, your mental, emotional awareness and healing, or your spiritual relationship, your personal relationship with your angels, I am happy to help you. I do in-person sessions and long distance. Some people like a one-off session, but some people are very aware that they have been believing negatively about themselves for a very long time, or they're very, very sick and need more than one session because healing from chronic illness can take time to change the low frequency thought processes and turn it all around and build the strength to hold a higher frequency for longer and longer hours throughout the day. Sometimes we can only hold a high vibration in the beginning for, 5 minutes. And then we're knocked right out. Or, others of us, we can hold it for an hour or so, and others of us have practiced a long time and we can hold it for 8 or so hours. Nobody, no human that has not reached enlightenment, and I am not an enlightened one, but nobody holds the highest frequency of bliss for 24 hours a day. That's an unrealistic expectation to put on yourself, and we wouldn't want to shame you or me for not being an actual angel, right? We're here to experience a human life and expand our awareness and overcome the challenges and obstacles and learn how to tune into spirit through this dense body. It is wild to me that we are designed to connect to source through this body. Absolutely amazing. So, if you would like to have a consultation with me, I offer free consultations to see if you want to work with me for angel healing or coaching, one-off session or a longer term. Usually 12 weeks to 6 months, just depends on what's going on with you specifically. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of 11th Hour Shaman's Cup of Tea podcast. I am really quite honored for you to be tuning in to these angel messages, these dreamtime messages, whatever's coming through. And it feels so good to just share as my own authentic self who has dreams and experiences with the other side. And all I want to do is live a beautiful life and help others to do the same. And that includes healing and growing in these beautiful ways in connection with our angels. So feel free to book a consultation to work with me. You can email me at Teresa, Teresa, at 11thhourshaman.com. I'm so looking forward to hearing from you. Until next time, let's be the most real selves we can be and move towards our dreams and our goals, one guided step at a time. Big, squishy hugs till then. Bye.